Hey guys, just wanted to say a big thanks for everyone that's listening to these videos, and just wanted to say I appreciate you guys putting in the time to have a listen to some things that have been on my heart. And yeah, I understand everyone's real busy these days and it is a crazy thing, but hopefully just 10 minutes or so that you put into a video like this can be of encouragement to you. I hope so. I really do. It really encourages me to put stuff out there and know that someone's listening and that it can make a difference. I've had some very positive feedback from a few people, which has really motivated me to continue to, I guess, pop out these videos. And yeah, hope you can have a listen to this one and get into it, and it might bring some encouragement. So what I was thinking about today, as I was driving, I'm just driving down the coast to pick up a caravan, about an hour or two away from my place. It's a beautiful day today after heaps of rain happening. We've got a big rainy season happening here in Australia. It's pretty awesome after all the drought. I was thinking about love today and how significant love really is. I was just listening to John 14 through 17 from the scriptures, and I was sort of thinking in terms of love and how significant and central that is to everything. A new commandment I leave with you: love one another, guys. Love one another. Where have we gone off the track, man, that we've found ourselves in a position where we're judgmental, critical, I don't know if you've been on Facebook lately, but look at some of the comments that we make to each other. It's just frightening. Like some of the stuff that's come out of the US, guys, is just, when you're a bit of an observer from a distance. I know there's a lot of heat over there. I know you guys have had a lot of dramas, and so I don't want to be critical of it, but just some of the vitriolic comments that come towards, people that are brothers and sisters, it's like frightening, man. Like the aggression that's coming up, and can't we just get along? Wonderful Guy Sebastian song. Can't we all just get along? Can't we just love each other from the heart? And love keeps no record of wrongs. Love overlooks, you know what I mean? Love overlooks the differences and sees, I guess, into the deeper part of a person and understands them from a deeper perspective. Not looking at what they're saying, not looking at their own reactions, perhaps, like, of course, we all react, we get angry. I've seen that just over the last couple of days in some Facebook groups. Some reactions and then another reaction, and then we hit back, and it's like this constant escalation of aggression. And love, I think, is the disarming power. To disarm is to love is to disarm the power of anger, of fear, of attack, basically. Because when you see two human beings coming together, when we misread one another or when we misunderstand one another, which is so easy. I saw this on a Facebook thing yesterday. Someone says something, it's kind of just slightly misinterpreted, which is so easy to do. Let's face it, the English language is pretty tough to understand and to get the nuances of, you know what I mean? So someone puts a bit of a joke up, another person responds and goes, oh, that's a little bit crass, or that's a little bit out of line, and then this person reacts back, and next thing there's a sort of an escalation, and the person that responds is feeling attacked, and it just goes on and on, So, well, how do we break through that? How do we become different? By this shall people know or understand that you are followers of God, if you love one another. If you guys can truly love from the heart, then you will be different. Then you will be set aside. Then you will show the way of how the world can really live. Imagine, like we just get so distracted, but imagine just loving responses to one another, even on a surface level of a Facebook or something like that. Just a loving, gentle response, perhaps understanding what's underneath the comment, what's underneath the thought or the feeling or the reaction. Can we be mature enough? I was talking the other day about maturity and how, in a way, we've been trained to be immature. Our responses are still immature in that we're reacting to, we're reacting. That's kind of immaturity, to react immediately. I see it in myself when I react to my wife who's just saying something to me that's, maybe she's asking something or and I think I'm just overreacting. I'm like, almost like, how dare you ask that? It's like immaturity. I can feel it rising up in me, and I'm like, what's that about? That's just like, it's negative, it doesn't help, it sort of often turns into a spiral of just small and petty stuff. Whereas I think love calls us to a much higher place. Love calls us upwards, it calls us beyond and above the actual circumstances. And it also, as we move in love, which is really to move in spirit, I think, is that we can see clearer too. I find personally that I can see, I don't know about you, but when you sort of get into the spirit space, you can kind of see deeper. Like, in other words, you might be able to see what's happening, sense, feel, know on a deeper level. What's going on in this person? Why are they reacting like this? I can see that there's something happening underneath already. Something has been burning underneath, and I've just, run into that and touched the surface of it. And love can disarm that. Love is the perfect cure. Love casts out fear. So the fear that we have of each other is what we're kind of reacting to. You're trying to get on top of me. You're trying to, dominate. You're trying to have the power here, and I'm afraid of that, and therefore I must react, kind of making myself bigger or whatever. But say, no, just let's pull back. Let's just take a moment to respond. Let's listen from the heart. Could we really just listen to each other a little more? Perhaps be a little gentler in our responses. So rather than just launching an attack and, I don't agree with you, like, how many times have you heard this? So what if you don't agree? Seriously? We all don't agree, but what makes that our viewpoint or our thoughts better than someone else's? Jesus, I just listened to that story, I think it's in John 13 or something. He's going down and he says, like, hey, he's at the table, he gets down on his knees, he strips back and he goes, I'm going to wash your feet, Peter. And Peter's going, no, don't do that. And he says, hey, look, guys, I'm going to show you something here. Be humble. This is the way. Get down and serve each other. Serve each other in a way that's practical, that's real, that's hopeful. Like, serve from the heart. That's what loving is. Love is action. Love is, responding in a way that is of service to the other. How can I be of assistance to you in this situation? Rather than attacking you and saying, hey, I don't agree with your particular viewpoint on this subject, whether it's political, spiritual, emotional, whatever. Can we just sit back and go, you've got a different viewpoint than I have? So is, 7 billion others, folks. Seriously. Are we going to fight for our little point of view, or can we sit back and serve the other by giving them a space to process, giving them a space to talk through maybe the anger that they're feeling, or the frustration that they're feeling, or the disappointment or the separation that they might be experiencing? What's love do? Love raises up high. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Love always looks for the good. Love always hopes, always believes, always takes the higher ground. Can we do that? Can we take the higher ground? Can we step back and go, hey, right, wrong, seriously, who cares? It's not about that. If you're not loving and you're right, maybe you're not right anyway, and vice versa. So why are we fighting for these little viewpoints when our very fighting could be the very means of, separating us from each other? We are God's children right through. Everyone who is born is somehow God's child, and there is a connection. Can we love one another from the heart to the point where that connection becomes a reality for us? Maybe you've been feeling alone, maybe you're feeling separated. Love is the key. Love has already reached out. Love is everywhere in the universe. Love is there, and it's reaching out to you, it's reaching out to me, and we can then let it come in and flow through us and out. When love flows out, we become fuller, we become richer for the flow as we serve one another, and as we give to one another in in whatever way or shape or form your gifting to the world comes in. Love is the key. Love is the one thing that breaks the cycle of blame, of anger, of frustration, of fear. Love disarms. Love casts out all fear. We are made perfect in love. Somehow, whatever perfection is or looks like, I have no idea, but love makes us perfect. Love makes us kind of like God in a sense. As we love, we become more like God to others. I wonder today if we could be more loving in some way, shape or form. That's my heart for today, and thanks for listening. Have a great day.